stop for a second and think about the last time you tried to film something incredible. You were out there, in the moment, adrenaline pumping, maybe hiking a ridgeline or riding a wave. You hit record, hoping to capture the magic. But when you got home and watched the footage, it looked flat. It looked shaky. Or worse, your camera died halfway through because of the cold, or it overheated just as the action got good. We have all accepted these compromises for years. We accepted that action cameras are just good enough. But what if I told you that the era of compromise is over? What if I told you that DJI is about to release a piece of hardware that doesn't just chase GoPro, but completely rewrites the physics of what a portable camera can do? We're talking about the DJI Osmo Action 6. And based on the latest confirmed specs, leaks, and supply chain whispers, this is not just an upgrade. This is a revolution. Let's look at the design first, because DJI has made some subtle but game-changing moves here. At a quick glance, it looks familiar. It has that classic rugged DJI shape that feels dense and premium in the hand. But look closer. The design language has shifted. The old pill-shaped sensor area under the lens is gone. It has been replaced by a clean, minimalist square aesthetic. This isn't just for looks. This change creates space for new ambient light and color temperature sensors that are now embedded right next to the lens housing. This means the camera is constantly reading the environment, not just looking at the image, to get the colors perfect before the light even hits the sensor. The body is crafted from a reinforced magnesium aluminum composite. It feels cool to the touch and incredibly solid. Every port, every button, and every texture has been calculated for grip and usability. You can feel the difference when you're wearing gloves or when your hands are wet. But the real story, the thing that is going to make every filmmaker's jaw drop, is inside the lens. For the first time in a mainstream action camera, we are hearing strong reports of a variable aperture. We're talking about a range from f/2.0 to f/4.0. If you know cameras, you know this is massive. Usually, action cameras have a fixed aperture. They're stuck wide open. This is fine for low light, but in bright sunlight, your shutter speed gets too high, and your footage looks jittery and unnatural. With the Osmo Action 6, you have control. You can stop down to f/4.0 in broad daylight to keep your footage crisp and cinematic without needing to screw on ND filters every 5 minutes. Then, when the sun goes down and you are walking through a neon-lit city, you open it up to f/2.0. The light floods in. The background gets a little separation. The grain disappears. This is the holy grail of portable filmmaking. Backing up that lens is a rumored 1-inch CMOS sensor. This is the leap we have been waiting for. A larger sensor means better dynamic range. It means your highlights won't blow out to pure white as easily, and your shadows won't be a muddy mess of noise. When you combine a 1-inch sensor with that variable aperture, you're getting image quality that rivals dedicated mirrorless cameras, but in a package that fits in your pocket. To process all that data, DJI is using a new image processor derived from their high-end drone lineup. This brings the famous DJI color science, rich, organic, and punchy without looking fake. We are expecting enhanced D-Log and profiles, giving professional colorists the ability to grade this footage and match it seamlessly with cinema cameras. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Stabilization. DJI has always been the king here, but Rocksteady 4.0 is taking it to a scary level. The leaks suggest it now integrates AI-powered horizon balancing. This is different from the old way. It doesn't just crop the image to keep it level. It understands your intent. Whether you are tumbling through 20-foot waves or rattling down a Rocky Mountain bike trail, the camera uses AI to predict the shake before it happens. It is like having a gimbal built into the software. The footage looks like it was shot on a tripod that is flying through the air. However, none of this matters if the battery dies. And this is where the Osmo Action 6 is going to embarrass the competition. The leaked specs are claiming 4 hours of continuous 4K recording. Let that sink in. 4 hours. That is nearly double what the GoPro Hero 12 can do. In real-world scenarios, this is thanks to a new stacked cell battery architecture. It is denser, more efficient, and better at handling power spikes. You can literally film a continuous hike, a long drive, or an entire surf session without ever swapping a battery. For vloggers and documentary filmmakers, this is freedom. You stop thinking about battery percentages and start thinking about your story. We also have to talk about heat. We all know the pain of a camera shutting down because it got too hot. DJI has apparently solved this with a new cooling core structure. It uses a blend of carbon-based thermal compounds and microscopic airflow channels that sit right beneath the sensor. Even if you're recording in the rumored 8K resolution, the heat dissipates naturally. Yes, I said 8K. The leaks indicate 8K at 30 frames per second is currently in testing, alongside 4K at a blistering 120 frames per second for buttery, smooth slow motion. And if you need to slow time down to a crawl, you can push 1080p to 480 frames per second. That captures details the human eye literally cannot see. The intelligence of this camera is another huge selling point. It features auto scene recognition. Imagine you are diving. You jump off the boat into the water. The camera instantly senses the change. It shifts the white balance to counteract the blue water, opens the aperture to f/2.0 for the darker environment, and bumps the ISO. Then, you surface back into the bright sun. In a split second, the camera recalibrates for high contrast and stops down the aperture. You don't touch a button. You just film. The camera does the thinking for you. Connectivity is getting a boost too, with Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.4. This means faster transfer speeds to your phone and a rock-solid connection to the new remote control accessory, which now features its own LCD screen. You can control the camera from your wrist or handlebars and actually see the framing. The ecosystem integration is wild. You can sync the Action 6 with your DJI drone or the upcoming Osmo Mobile 8 gimbal. Imagine a setup where all your cameras start recording at once with a single voice command. Speaking of voice, the AI voice control has been updated to hear you even in windy or noisy environments. You can scream, start recording while skiing down a mountain, and it will actually listen. Durability is, of course, standard for DJI. It is waterproof down to 20 meters without a case. That is deep. It is freeze-resistant down to -20 degrees Celsius. And the impact resistance has been tested beyond the standard 1.5-meter drops. This thing is a tank. The front and rear screens are brighter OLED panels, making them visible even in direct, harsh sunlight. The interface is snappier, the menus are intuitive, and the new magnetic quick mount system is stronger than ever while still letting you swap mounts in seconds. Finally, the price. You would expect all this tech to cost a fortune, but the leaks suggest DJI is going for the throat. The base model is rumored to sit around $329, the accessory pack at $420, and the full adventure bundle at $570. This is aggressive pricing. They're offering specs that beat professional gear for a consumer price. They want to own the market, and with this device, they probably will. We are looking at a release window around November 2025, just in time for the holiday season. In my honest opinion, this product feels like the end game for action cameras. If the variable aperture and the battery life claims are true, there's almost no reason to buy anything else. It solves the low light problem, it solves the battery anxiety problem, and it solves the overheating problem. It is the camera we have been asking for. If you like the video, subscribe, share the video, and hit the bell icon like that.